Your sister drives a Bentley while you still take the bus, Marcus announced at our parents' anniversary dinner, loud enough for the entire restaurant to hear. At 32, Julia, you're the only failure in this family. The Bloomberg alert on the restaurant's bar TV chose that exact moment to flash my face with the headline I'd been keeping secret for 3 months. The Michelin-starred restaurant in downtown Boston had been Marcus's choice, of course. Everything always was. My older brother loved audiences for his performances, and tonight's audience included our parents' closest friends, business associates, and enough extended family to ensure maximum humiliation. Did you even try to dress up? He continued, gesturing at my simple black dress and cardigan. That outfit screams thrift store. Marcus, our mother said weakly, though her eyes held the same disappointment. Your sister tried her best. Her best? Marcus laughed, adjusting his custom Italian suit. Her best is apparently showing up to our parents' 40th anniversary looking like she raided a donation bin. Dad, tell me you're not still sending her money. Our father, Richard Winters, sighed deeply. At 67, he'd built a small empire in commercial real estate, and nothing pained him more than what he saw as my complete failure to launch. Julia knows our position on financial support. Translation: we cut her off 2 years ago, Marcus told the table, as if they didn't already know. Tough love. She needed to learn consequences. Aunt Patricia nodded approvingly from across the table. Sometimes children need to hit rock bottom before they find their way. Rock bottom was apparently too ambitious, Marcus continued. She found the basement under rock bottom. Living in that studio apartment in Southie, working, what is it now, Julia? Still at that nonprofit? I left the nonprofit 3 years ago, I said quietly. Right, unemployed then. Even better. He raised his champagne glass mockingly. To Julia, proving that participation trophies create a generation of losers. The entire table shifted uncomfortably, but no one defended me. They never did. In the Winters family hierarchy, Marcus was the golden child, Harvard MBA, investment banker at Goldman Sachs, engaged to a senator's daughter. I was the cautionary tale, the Berkeley dropout who chose social work over law school. At least change before dessert, Marcus said. I have colleagues coming for the toast. Sarah's parents too. The future in-laws don't need to see what failure looks like up close. Marcus, enough, Dad said, though his tone suggested he agreed with the sentiment if not the delivery. I'm trying to help, Marcus protested. Someone needs to shame her into action. She's embarrassing us. Do you know what people say? Oh, the Winters family, such success, except for that one daughter. That one daughter is sitting right here, I pointed out. Then do something about it, he snapped. Get a real job. Buy decent clothes. Stop being the family charity case. You're 32, not 22. The quirky artist phase should have ended a decade ago. Mom touched her pearl necklace nervously. Julia, honey, Marcus has a point. Your father and I won't be around forever. What's your plan? I have a plan, I said. Welfare isn't a plan, Marcus shot back. Neither is hoping some guy takes pity and marries you. Though honestly, who'd want? He gestured at me again. This? You look like you sleep in those clothes. I didn't sleep in them. Could have fooled me. When's the last time you bought something new? 2015? I glanced at the bar TV, where Bloomberg was cycling through market news. Any minute now. You know what kills me? Marcus continued, warming to his theme. I offered to get you an interview at Goldman. Entry level, but legitimate. You turned it down for what? Pride? Laziness? I had other commitments. Right, your projects. More air quotes. How's that working out? Still pretending to be an entrepreneur? Newsflash, selling crafts on Etsy doesn't make you a businesswoman. Uncle Tony chuckled. Remember when she said she was starting a tech company? What happened to that pipe dream? Same thing that happens to all her dreams, Marcus said. Reality. The waiter approached with dessert menus, but Marcus waved him off. Actually, could you bring separate checks? I'll cover everyone except. He pointed at me. She needs to learn financial responsibility. Marcus, Sarah, his fiancée, said softly. Don't you think? I think enabling her helps no one, he cut her off. Julia needs tough love. She needs to understand that wearing Walmart to a 5-star restaurant isn't acceptable. That living like a college student in your 30s isn't quirky, it's pathetic. I pulled out my phone, checking the time. 8:47 p.m. The segment was scheduled for 8:50. Oh good, checking Instagram while we discuss your failures, Marcus noticed. Very mature. Probably looking at how your successful friends live, right? The ones with real jobs and futures. Something like that. You know what your problem is? He leaned forward, ready to deliver his thesis. You think you're too good for regular work. You want to be special, different. But you're not special, Julia. You're just another millennial who confused participation trophies with actual achievement. That's enough, Dad said sharply, though I noticed he didn't disagree. Is it? Because I'm tired of pretending she's not an embarrassment. When the Hendersons ask about her, what do you say? When the country club members wonder why one daughter thrives while the other. He shrugged eloquently. They don't ask about me, I said. Exactly. Because you're invisible. A non-entity. The family ghost who shows up to dinners in thrift store clothes and contributes nothing to conversations because you achieved nothing worth discussing. Mom dabbed her eyes. We just want you to succeed, sweetheart. No, Marcus corrected. We want her to stop failing. There's a difference. Success might be beyond her capabilities, but basic adulting shouldn't be. The restaurant had gone quiet around us. Other diners were pretending not to listen while obviously hanging on every word. Boston's elite loved drama, especially when it involved one of their own. Tell me, Marcus continued, what's your net worth? Negative? Do you even have savings? Retirement? Health insurance that isn't Medicaid? I have insurance. Through what job? Or is this another mysterious project you can't discuss? I glanced at the TV again. 8:49, the Bloomberg anchor was wrapping up a segment on retail earnings. You want to know the truth? Marcus asked the table. I'm ashamed of her. Ashamed to introduce her to colleagues. Ashamed to admit she's my sister. When I told the partners at Goldman about my family, I said I was an only child. Marcus. Mom gasped. What? It's true. Why should I let her failure reflect on me? I worked for everything I have. Harvard wasn't handed to me. Goldman didn't hire me for my last name. Meanwhile, she coasts on family goodwill, showing up to events like a Victorian ghost, reminding everyone that even successful families produce failures. I'm right here, I said again. Then act like it. Do something worth noticing. Buy a suit that doesn't scream poverty. Get a job that requires a resume. Stop being the family punchline. Sarah tugged his sleeve. The TV. But Marcus was on a roll. You know what? Forget the separate checks. I'll pay for everyone's dinner. Consider it charity for Julia. Lord knows she needs it. Maybe use the saved money to buy something that doesn't look like Marcus. Sarah's voice was sharp now. The TV. Look at the TV. The entire restaurant turned toward the bar television. Bloomberg's primetime business segment had started, and there I was, standing in front of a modern office building in Cambridge. Tonight, a Massachusetts startup story that proves overnight success takes years of preparation, the anchor began. Solace Technologies, the mental health platform that's revolutionized therapy access, just sold to Teladoc Health. The price? $400 million. But the real story is the founder, Julia Winters, who built this company while keeping an incredibly low profile. Marcus's champagne glass stopped halfway to his mouth. On screen, I was giving an interview I'd recorded 2 weeks ago. We started Solace because mental health care was broken, my televised self explained. Too expensive, too inaccessible, too stigmatized. Our AI-driven platform connects patients with therapists in minutes, not months. The numbers are staggering, the Bloomberg reporter continued. 4 million users, partnerships with major insurance providers, and now this acquisition. Julia Winters owns 67% of the company, making her stake worth approximately $268 million after taxes. The restaurant was utterly silent now. Every eye turned from the screen to me. But here's what's remarkable, the segment continued. Winters bootstrapped the entire operation. No venture capital, no family money. She funded it by living extremely frugally, reinvesting everything back into the company. Sources say she still takes public transportation and lives in a modest apartment despite running a company valued at nearly $500 million. They showed footage of our Cambridge office, the therapy centers we'd opened, testimonials from users whose lives we'd changed. Then back to me. Money was never the goal, I said in the interview. The goal was to help people who were struggling like I once struggled. Everything else is just a side effect of solving a real problem. The anchor wrapped up. Winters says she'll use the acquisition funds to launch a nonprofit focusing on free mental health services for underserved communities. At 32, she's one of the youngest self-made entrepreneurs in Massachusetts. Proof that sometimes the quiet ones are building the biggest things. The segment ended. The restaurant remained frozen. Marcus's face had gone from red to white to green. He set down his champagne glass with a shaking hand. That's... Mom's voice was barely a whisper. That's you? Yes. $400 million? Dad said faintly. Before taxes. After legal fees and the team bonuses, I'll net about $268 million. The mental health company, Aunt Patricia said slowly. You built that? From scratch. No investors, no family money. Just revenue and reinvestment. Marcus finally found his voice. That's impossible. You can't, you shop at thrift stores. I shop at thrift stores because I put every dollar into the company. Do you know how expensive developers are? Server costs? Compliance for health data? I lived on $30,000 a year so Solace could grow. But you never said. Mom looked stricken. We offered you money, which came with lectures about failure and disappointment. I preferred ramen and self-respect. You let me? Marcus's voice cracked. You let me call you a failure. In public. For years. You never asked what I was working on. None of you did. You saw the thrift store clothes and decided I was a failure. Even when I told you about the company, you dismissed it as another project. We thought. Dad cleared his throat. When you turned down the Goldman interview, I was finalizing our Series A equivalent in revenue. I couldn't take a banking job while running a company with 50 employees. 50 employees? Sarah said faintly. 200 now. Well, Teladoc is keeping everyone as part of the deal. Marcus stood abruptly, his chair scraping. I need air. Sit down, I said calmly. We're not done. He sat, probably from shock more than obedience. You said you tell people you're an only child, I continued. Good. Keep doing that. Because I've been telling people the same thing. Julia. Mom reached for my hand. No. You don't get to switch from disappointment to pride because a number appeared on TV. I'm the same person I was an hour ago. The same person you've been ashamed of for a decade. We weren't ashamed, Dad protested. You literally had an intervention last Christmas about my failure to launch. Uncle Tony suggested military service might give me structure. Tony had the grace to look embarrassed. You know what I did after that intervention? Signed the paperwork to acquire our biggest competitor. Closed a deal with Anthem Insurance. But I couldn't share that because you'd already decided who I was. If we'd known. Marcus started. What? You'd have treated me with basic respect? Been kind? Not announced to restaurants that I'm an embarrassment? Silence. The irony, I continued, is that you were all so busy judging my clothes that you missed the obvious. I wasn't broke, I was focused. I wasn't failing, I was building. Every dollar you spent on status symbols, I invested in solving a problem that affects millions. The nonprofit, Mom said suddenly. You mentioned a nonprofit. The Winters Foundation. It'll provide free therapy to anyone who needs it. Named after our family because despite everything, I do love you. Even when you made it hard to love myself. Marcus looked physically ill. I told Goldman Partners you didn't exist. I know. They know too. Teladoc's CEO golfs with your managing director. Small world. He put his head in his hands. But here's what's going to happen, I said. Nothing. You'll keep being the successful investment banker. I'll keep wearing thrift store finds because I like them. We'll come to family dinners where you do and insult me and I do and mention that my checking account could buy your entire firm. Julia, Dad's voice was rough. We failed you. Yes. You did. But I succeeded anyway. Maybe even because of it. Your doubt motivated me more than your support ever could have. That's heartbreaking, Mom whispered. That's honest. Something this family struggles with. The waiter approached hesitantly. Would you like the check? She's paying, Marcus said automatically, then caught himself. I'm paying. Like I said. Actually, I pulled out a credit card, I'll get it. Consider it a celebration dinner. The waiter's eyes widened at the black card. Of course, Ms. Winters. And congratulations on your acquisition. My daughter uses Solace. It changed her life. Thank you. That means everything. As he left, Sarah finally spoke. Julia, I'm so sorry. I should have said something. All those times, Marcus. You were being loyal to your partner. I understand loyalty. I just wish my family had shown me some. We do now, Mom said urgently. We're so proud. Of my money. I get it. But I need you to be proud of who I was before Bloomberg told you to be. The woman in thrift store clothes who was kind, who worked hard, who never mocked anyone for their choices. That's who built Solace. Not the millionaire on TV. You're right, Dad said quietly. God help us, you're right. We measured worth in dollars and missed real value. Marcus still hadn't looked up. I'm supposed to give a speech. At the anniversary party next week. About family and success. Give it, I said. Tell them about your Goldman career. Your engagement. Your bright future. All true things to be proud of. While knowing I called you garbage. Knowing you could buy and sell me 100 times over. Money doesn't buy worth, Marcus. You taught me that. Just backwards from how you intended. The check arrived. I signed it without looking, adding a 200% tip. The waiter nearly fainted. What now? Mom asked. Where do we go from here? Forward. You'll process the shock, hopefully grow from it. I'll keep building things. Maybe we find a relationship based on who we actually are instead of who we thought each other should be. I want to know about Solace, Dad said. Really no. Not the Bloomberg version. Your version. Okay. But not tonight. Tonight's your anniversary. 40 years of marriage is worth celebrating. 40 years of marriage that produced you, Mom said softly. And we almost missed it. Marcus finally looked up. His eyes were red. I'm sorry. That's inadequate, but I'm sorry. Not because of the money. Because I was cruel. Because I enjoyed being cruel. Because making you small made me feel big. I know. How do I fix this? You don't. You can't unsay years of words. But you can choose different words going forward. Maybe start by telling Goldman you have a sister. One you're still getting to know. He nodded shakily. The thrift store clothes are from thrift stores. I donated my entire wardrobe when I started Solace. Bought it all back from Goodwill as a reminder that things don't determine value. These clothes built a $400 million company. Your Italian suit built, what exactly? Debt, he admitted. $80,000 in credit card debt trying to look successful. Oh, Marcus. I know. The irony isn't lost. I mocked you for being poor while drowning in payments for appearance. I pulled out my phone. What's your account number? What? No. I can't. You're my brother. Disappointing, cruel, but mine. Account number. He told me. I transferred $80,000 without blinking. That's not. I don't deserve. Nobody deserves anything. We give from love, not merit. Something else you taught me backwards. The family sat in stunned silence as I stood to leave. Where are you going? Mom asked. Home. To my studio apartment that horrifies you. To plan the foundation that will help people you'd cross the street to avoid. To live the life that embarrasses you but fulfills me. Will we see you again? Dad's voice was small. Sunday dinner. Like always. But different. No more jokes about my clothes or career. No more comparisons to Marcus. No more disappointment poorly disguised as concern. Just family. Flawed, complicated, real. We can do that, Mom promised. Prove it. I walked toward the exit, past tables of Boston's elite who'd witnessed every moment. Tomorrow, the gossip would be everywhere. The Winters family dragged their failure daughter to dinner, only to discover she could buy the entire restaurant. Julia. Marcus called out. I turned. Your company, it really helps people? 4 million and counting. People who couldn't afford traditional therapy. People insurance rejected. People like. I paused. Like I was, after years of family dinners like this one. Broken. Ashamed. Sure, I was worthless because the people who should love me most confirmed it constantly. He flinched. I need help. The debt, the pressure, the way I treat people. I need help. Download the app. First month's free. After that. I smiled slightly. Friends and family discount. Since apparently we're family after all. I left them there, processing their shattered assumptions. Outside, the Boston night was crisp and clear. I walked to the T station, ignoring the valet stand. Public transportation had carried me this far. No need to change now. My phone buzzed. Sarah, thank you for the grace you showed. He doesn't deserve it. Neither do I. But thank you. Then Marcus, I downloaded the app. Matched with a therapist. First session tomorrow. Maybe I'll learn to be less, me. Then Mom, we love you. We've always loved you. We just forgot to show it. Can you forgive us? I typed back, love isn't proven in grand gestures. It's shown in small kindnesses. Start there. The train arrived, carrying Cambridge tech workers and Southie natives, students and bankers, all equal in transit. I found a seat, invisible again in my thrift store dress. Tomorrow, the business world would dissect the acquisition. Reporters would call. Investors would circle. But tonight, I was just Julia Winters, riding the red line home, $268 million richer but still myself. Still the woman my family had dismissed. Still the entrepreneur they'd mocked. Still the sister who'd loved them through their worst. Still successful, with or without their approval. The train carried me home to my studio apartment, past the office where we'd built something beautiful, past the future foundation site, past all the places where I'd quietly changed the world while my family loudly proclaimed my failure. Let Marcus keep his suits. Let Mom clutch her pearls. Let Dad measure worth in square footage. I'd measured mine and lives changed. And by that metric, I'd been wealthy all along.